10:49 on the original Saturday morning rock revival, except no substitutes. Oh, we just talked about Timmy Thomas. Why can't we live together? Mm-hmm. One man, I had mentioned to Ernie Soul and Jimmy Tabb, especially yesterday, that wanted to know if they ever played with Wilbur Harrison. A lot of people call him Wilbert. His real name is Wilbur. And I was in the show with him. I got to be the announcer, whatever you call this, MC or whatever, because I can't sing.
Guy don't get paid as much.
That was what it is. You want a free ticket? Announce my name. He has a one-man band, and there's a good trivial question. Only artist, well, you know, we might get into an argument with that because Paul McCartney, on a couple of his songs that went #1, he played all the instruments. But I don't want to say that Timmy Thomas and Paul McCartney are in the same league. Timmy Thomas is a good artist, but he did it all himself. He had a, what do you call that, a Hammond organ?
And he does it live.
Does it live.
Does it live, one piece.
Yeah. That's another thing about you talk about live. I always remember the Mamas and Papas, how they were, or any folk group, how they can always, live, they're the same thing you get on the album because there ain't no funny things added in the studios on folk music. You guys ever get into folk music at all?
Never did.
Never do. Things like Blowing in the Wind.
I listened to Tom Dooley a couple times.
Tom Dooley.
That's about it.
Yeah.
We never did get into that.
I don't see how I could fit in nightclubs. They're kind of rough.
Girls, now believe it or not, we have a lot of girls. I mean, Tabb and I didn't never have a lot of girls, but I'm talking about girl singers that come in the club. Girl singers.
It's a family show, folks.
A lot of those girls that come in the club, you know, that sing, you know, that they would book, they would, you know, an agent would bring in and our band would back and stuff like that. A lot of those girls did folk songs. You know, I remember the era, you know, of when that was. But then we couldn't wait to get them off the mic so we could get jugging again.
Yeah, okay, honey, thank you very much. Now, let's get down. What happened when the Beatles hit the scene? How did it affect your thinking and the way you approach the business?
Believe it or not, every band that I know of, and I can say this, especially the local bands at that time, everybody went Beatles, and except us. And all those bands that went Beatles...
They ain't here today, folks.
are no longer playing in Albany that I know of, and we are, because we would do a Beatle tune if necessary, you know. I mean, we didn't hate the Beatles or anything like that, but like I said, we were Elvis-oriented, and nobody would ever take his place then and now, you know. So, like, we were just rock and roll, and we wasn't going to change everything that we had put into what we had going for something new that was on the market. Now, we played some of those tunes, but we never made our show out of them, and I guess that's how we lasted. Mm-hmm. Because we continuously pull a crowd of basically the same people.
Do you guys ever do anything by the Four Seasons?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Sherry, baby.
How do you get up there? Does Jimmy do the...
We wear tight clothes.
Tight. We're talking size 10 BVDs here, folks. And standing on someone's foot.
Yeah, really.
Drawstring.
Yeah, really. And threat.
Ernie, you better get in here because I'm going to play your song, sir. Dave Miller just called and said that we have to get a little bit more on mic.
Okay.
Now, let's do it professionally here. Test 1 2 3.
Testing 1 2 3.
All right. You guys are going to have to get real cozy, I guess.
Yeah, we can.
When Jimmy gets back in here, Russ Tabb just called, and Russ was talking to a friend of his and wanted to know if Jimmy and Ray Stevens had ever played together in a band locally that they think they remember him playing with in a band with Ray. Do you know?
We done a talent show one time at Albany High School, and it was for some high school sweetheart thing situation. Maybe it was even a Valentine's dance at Albany High School, but I remember it had something to do with it. And my band back the talent show that was there, and Ray Stevens was there at that time. He was there, you know. He was, I guess, what you'd say the biggie, I guess. But he was there, and we did shows with it. I can't remember. We'll have to wait till Tabb gets back. I can't remember if Tabb was with us at that time or not.
We don't need him for this next record anyway. It's one of my favorite songs, and I heard that it was one of yours. Stan, thanks for the help.
Always my favorite song.
Oh, and one early morning or whenever it was, no, I guess this was out the parking lot at the mall about 3 o'clock in the morning, sitting in Ernie's car talking to him. Found out that we shared one of the great Eddie Floyd songs as our favorites. Jimmy, we had a question for you. We'll ask you in just a second, but I want to play this thing here. Ernie, want to dedicate this song to anybody in particular?
I want to dedicate this. I send this out to Bobby Lee Joyner.
Oh, that's a great dedication. Bobby, this is for you, sir. If I had Ernie and Jimmy in here, I knew this would happen. We're getting a lot of people calling up now that know more about you guys than you know about yourselves. Jimmy, Dave called, said we had to get more on mic. So you're going to have to lean forward a little bit. I know you're relaxing, but big stars like this, I'm sorry, guys, but just... Somebody buzzing us back here ain't going to be talking to us. 2 questions. Number 1, one of our listeners, Russ Tabb, called. Cannot remember for sure if you played with Ray Stevens at any time during your career.
Never did. He was, Ray Ragsdale was just a couple years ahead of me in high school, I think. He went through about the time he was getting out, graduating or whatever, about the time I was quitting.
No, you're okay.
About the time I was quitting, so I never did get to work with him before he went off and got big.
How about, Ernie had mentioned that you played at a sock hop or school dance or something. Do you remember if you might have...
We played some kind of talent show thing at Albany High School one time, and Ray was on the show. Now, I don't know whether he worked with us or not, but my band at that time backed the talent show of all the singers that were going to sing. And I can't remember. I remember Bill Sasser.
Yeah, Bill and Will.
Yeah, Bill Sasser was one of the contestants in the show that I remember. And this was before the Bill and Will. And I think he placed second place. But anyway, 3 little girls won it with I know you belong to them. They won the thing.
But jump in with the harmony.
But we really did. I don't understand, but Ray Stevens was the biggie on the show. That was, I guess that was what we call the draw, I guess. He was one that drew people to the...
But ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's fine. Shoot. Let's go back to the start of your careers. When you first got into music, obviously 7, 8, 10 years old, when did you start beating on the drums, Ernie?
Oh, God, I didn't beat on the drums till, late. I was in music 10 years probably before I started any kind of drumming. I just started drumming. I started working for Curtis Gordon. But really, when I started in music, I played piano and did a lot of Little Richard type stuff. Sure did. And anything that's about Fats Domino type stuff, anything of that nature. But then I played guitar for years. And then got into drum. Like I said, Curtis Gordon needed a drummer. He called me and asked me, did I know one?
Yeah,
I
do.
I am one. And I started
playing the drums.
Of course, I had played around some, but never played, professionally playing drums.
Where was your first public appearance?
Well, I worked a lot of church work with my brother before I got into the nightclub business. And matter of fact, the way I got into the nightclub business, as a church member, asked me would I work in his nightclub, and we did.
Oh, that's great. All right, now Jimmy Tabb.
I worked at a place called the Playland. It was out on, first for tips and beer, and believe it or not, I didn't drink any tips. No, I didn't even drink back there. I was like 16, 17 years old.
Oh, I'm talking earlier than that now.
Earlier than that?
I mean, first public appearance. You might not even got paid for it.
What do you mean get paid? I didn't get paid till after I've been doing it for 23 years.
How about going back to like 3rd grade?
3rd grade.
Mamie Brosnan?
Mamie Brosnan School.
Mm-hmm.
On stage.
Yep.
Playing guitar. Probably.
3rd grade. Bass guitar. You remember?
Who called that in?
Are you the real Don Fowler?
This is your life.
Yeah, that's it.
Mamie Brosnan.
You had dinner for one at Burger World.
Where was Mamie Brosnan's school at?
It's on North Monroe Street. It's still there.
Oh,
today.
that's what it is.
Still there today.
All right, yeah, okay. Now,
believe it or not, even after Jimmy went to school there, it's still there.
Whoa. Golly. How about Eddie Middleton? You said you...
Eddie's a tremendous singer, and Eddie's, I understand, has been saved and got a real successful gospel group together called New Songs.
New Songs, they're
They
super.
are tremendous. And Eddie's always been a tremendous singer and showman, though. He really has. But he don't, he don't choose to play commercial or soul or rock and roll music anymore. He does a lot of gospel stuff. But still, I saw Eddie. It's been a while back now, but I saw him, matter of fact, at my sister's church. And that I go to, and that we, I went backstage and talked to him for a long time, and he's still just a nice guy.
Friendly guy.
Nice guy.
Hard to work with because he was a perfectionist.
Yes.
Whoa, hard to work with.
And believe it or not, I never in my life, other than being on the same show as both of us out front singing, never worked with Eddie. Eddie never worked with our band, and I guess that's why it was. It's like, I'm hardcore soul and rhythm and blues, and Eddie he liked to do some of the commercial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Grazing in the grass type stuff,
Yeah.
He was into a lot of that. But he would sort of like try to change with the phase or whatever that. But I guess Bobby Joyner and I stayed hardcore soul and, rhythm and blues. I guess that's what you'd call it.
You guys are out at Lloyd's right now, and we don't mind giving a plug. Lanny and Janice Mays. And there isn't a week that goes by that I don't hear something about what you guys are doing over there.
We have a good time.
You must have a repertoire of thousands of songs, literally.
True.
Thousands of songs.
At least 1,500.
You ever get stumped?
Yeah.
You do?
Sure do.
Then you go back and see if you want to learn that song?
We get stumped on a chord change.
Oh, come on.
Somebody asked us if we done a song that we hadn't done in 15 years, and we'll take the song at that time and say, can we do it for you next set, and on the intermission we'll work out the chord that we do, because when our show's running, naturally we can't just stop and rehearse it out. But we can do some of just about any hit record that's ever been. That's ever been in our type of music, like, naturally we can't do no opera stuff,
No, hey, I don't think you do.
I was 30 years old before I know that.
First time that I saw this thing performed was when you and Bobby did it over at Spodiotes, and blew my mind. I had to go dig out my version that I had at the house of the Righteous Brothers Justine, and that next night next morning rather, I had this song on the air. Believe me, saw you guys do it that Friday night, and it just blew me away, and had requests for it here. I could not find Pink Scarf to bring into play today. I know I've got it, of course, but and it skips 3 or 4 times. And, I want to play Justine. Here are the Righteous Brothers on the original Saturday Morning Rock Revival. Our special guests today are Jimmy Tabb and Ernie Soul. Justine! Ernie Soul, Jimmy Tabb, our special guests today, and I want to thank everybody for calling up. Really had a lot of calls this morning. Appreciate it. A lot of calls we're not able to get to because we're in here chit-chatting so much. Man, it's okay. Green Door, name of the place there on Jefferson that you played with Curtis Gordon.
Curtis Gordon was working, yeah. I knew there was a club in there, and I just didn't know the name.
Didn't know the name of it.
Couldn't remember that.
God.
We were children, but I remember. We used to go to Colonel Room back when we worked at the Shy Diane Lounge, the one I was telling you about. We used to go there and hear Jesse White before he died. Tremendous.
Jesse White.
Jesse White. He was at the Colonel Room for 100 years.
Why does that name ring a bell with me?
Because he was tremendous. He was great.
Jesse White.
He was one of the original entertainers at the Continental Room.
Was, really? First. Really.
When did he die?
Till he died. I don't know. He died probably early 60s.
Man, I've heard some people talk about Jesse White.
And Jesse White was a tremendous, tremendous musician. No doubt about it. And always had a tremendous band.
Gosh. Who are some of the guys that, groups that have come through Albany that maybe you played on their shows and so forth, some big names or...
But when the biggest story that Jimmy and I can tell, that this is on the square. Now, this is on the square. Charlie Rich came to town and worked at the Civic Auditorium downtown, right across the street from the Continental Room. Okay, our band was the best band in the area, we thought at the time, which we was always elected to do all these things anyway. We was to back Charlie Rich. He came in as a single. He had a hit song called Lonely Weekends. Rock and roll. Oh, but the Lonely Weekends. Okay, we got over and rehearsed with him for about 4 hours, and the guy told us, said, look, if you guys will rehearse my show out and get it down pat, just get it down pat, I'll take all you guys out to dinner. It's wherever you want to go. We said, man, we can do that.
We'll get it right.
We'll handle it. We got it down just right. I mean, just like the record, you know, we got it down. He took us to Stem's restaurant, and we sat. That's where we wanted to go. He held up that part. We told him we want to go to Stem's, so we went to Stem's, and in the front corner, there was a big round booth, right? I remember this to this day, and you remember it too. We all sat down, Charlie Rich with us, you know, we just thrilled to death, you know, the big star with us and everything. And the waitress came to the table. He said, bring us all a cheeseburger and fries. I swear he did. We didn't get to say anything.
Oh.
Bring us a cheeseburger and fries. And we had worked ourselves to death.
Small order of fries.
You met Charlie Rich before I did. I met him when he had Mohair Sam.
Yeah.
And we didn't know who Charlie Rich was. And, of course, he's been gray-haired or white-haired since the day he was born. Oh, here I am. We all drive up to St. Petersburg to see Charlie Rich. About 12 of us in a Nagum Bonneville. We get up there, and they had Tommy Rowe and all these guys. Then the big star was Charlie Rich. And up comes this old geezer.
Yeah, really.
And we went, no, we have been ripped off. But he did a good show.
Yeah,
Sure entertained us. My greatest story I've ever told people was that we had a place in Sarasota called the Tahoe Lounge. And they brought in a lot of great country artists. Tammy was in there, George Jones was in there, a bunch of them. But to me, Jerry Lee Lewis was the biggest. And I don't remember Fred's last name. It was Fred's Tahoe Lounge, right there, kind of in Oneiko, really, between Sarasota and Bradenton. Small club. You guys know what I'm talking about. Just 4 walls, a bar, and they had rented some of those auditorium-type seats to kind of fold out. Mm-hmm. And I was in the second row. Couldn't get there in time to get the first row, and anyway, I had a complimentary ticket. And they had the little warm-up band playing. And then old Fred gets up to the microphone. All right, everybody, what have you been waiting for? Here's Jerry Lee Lewis. And the son of a gun had been sitting right in front of me the whole time, and I never knew it. He was within 2 feet of me, and I never paid attention of him. Got up there, and just for every bit of 3 hours he played. And, of course, by the time it was through, his bench was broke. He drank at least 3 bottles of Southern Comfort. He had a ball. Just laid us out.
Well, you're talking about Jerry Lee Lewis. He used to be one of my idols, too, back then. And not to be confused with Ernie Soul, this is Jimmy Tabb. The one on the right.
Yeah, on the right-hand side. About a 16 on your radio.
I was with Brian Hyland and the Jokers, and we were doing a show. We had 2 shows to do in Jacksonville for the Big Ape, and then we had to go from there to the Montgomery. And I had seen back in the early middle 50s, early 60s, I'd seen Jerry Lee Lewis, Bobby Vinton, and several big stars back then perform on the stage. And we had, I guess there was between 16 and 20,000 people there, and I was with Brian Hyland, and it came over me that I was standing on the stage performing in the identical spot that Jerry Lee Lewis, I had seen Jerry Lee Lewis performing in years earlier. And it just kind of put a
chill
went over me, you know, just all the...
Well, you're sitting in a spot that in 1970 or 71, Brian Hyland sat right there behind that microphone and played about, he was here for 3 hours with me one Saturday. Brought his guitar and just played and played and played. Don't know if you caught the show, but he mentioned Jimmy Tabb's name, and I guess somebody else from Randy Brimberry.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
We were going to bring a guitar this morning, but Tabb pawned it. Tabb pawned the guitar.
I got it back out and gave it back to who it belonged to.
Legendary, as we have a new definition now, legendary Jimmy Tabb, and equally legendary Ernie Soul, our special guest today on our Rock Revival. And if you guys want to call in, keep the phone ringing. That's fine. While we're chit-chatting here, we'll answer as soon as we get through yanking. Shared some interesting stories that they really have. Roughest night that you've ever had. I mean, people just can't make them happy. You know, one of those kind of nights.
Last night.
Just kidding.
Just kidding, boss.
Just kidding. Yeah, just kidding.
You ever have one of those?
Yes. Matter of fact, you have one in just about every club that you play in, you know. Opening night is the thing that I love more about my situation, my profession than anything. Where most people dread opening nights and stuff like that in different clubs and stuff, it's a tremendous challenge to myself to make myself be accepted. That's my whole situation. That's what drives me. In other words, I love the challenge of opening night because I know that somewhere in my repertoire, if people will listen long enough, I will play something
that they like.
That's it.
That's the way to do it.
That's the whole thing.
You ever been threatened or anything like that? You know, I'm talking about back in the, hopefully in the rowdy days.
Shotgun, Jimmy.
No, I won't tell you.
Don't talk about the shotgun.
No. No, and you're talking about in the music business?
Well, any aspect of it, yeah.
I was robbed at point blank with a gun in Albany, New York.
Albany, New York.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. But not here. The only people
in a club or?
Yeah, coming out with the band payroll. And so give me the money. I said,
Mark Shore was just kidding. He'll give you the money back.
I said you got to be joking. This is against the law to possess a handgun in the state of New York.
I believe you really said that too.
I did. No, really, give him the money and wished him well.
Which hey, spent it well.
But that's one of the worst experiences I think I've ever had happen to me, other than a car wreck. I was killed in a car wreck in 1957. I've had a headache ever since.
Oh my goodness. You guys really thinking about recording something?
We're going to try to do an album. We're going in the studio in hopefully in March or April, no later than April, and we hope to have it out by the end of the summer.
Great.
Sure. And like I said, a lot of it's going to be Tabb songs, and of course both of us be singing them. You know, most of them be Tabb songs. I got 2 songs that just ready, and we hoping to get it down. We finally got another producer, or in South Georgia language, Money Man. But been working on it for a long time.
Yeah, super. We're looking forward to that.
We are. We're really looking forward to it.
You know we'll get aired. I know I'll play it right here. That's for sure. So. Get some starters. That's for sure. We played a little bit of this on cue here. Cherry Pie by Skip and Flip. And you guys want to send it out to somebody?
Yeah, we want to send it out to Pam and Julie. Now, Pam and Julie, this is especially for y'all.
Okay, we'll do it. Throughout the music era here, rock and roll and on, even way back when, duets have been big. I mean, you can of course name the Simon and Garfunkels and all these guys.
We were just talking about it. I swear, we were just talking about Mel and Tim with Backfield of Motion, Don and Warren.
We have done a couple of specials through the years with couples, and who are some of your favorites?
Mel and Tim, Don and Warren, Skip and Flip, those guys, and Dick and Dee Dee.
Don't forget Ducky. Gotta say hi to Ducky.
Say hi to Ducky. Dedicate this whole show to poor old Ducky.
Poor old Ducky.
Love old Ducky. But anyway, you happy, Bobby Lee? We did, bless his heart. Love him to death. We can't forget that famous duo, what's the name? Music, Ernie, and Tabb.
Music, Ernie, and Tabb.
That's how they had us advertised on the marquee for a long time. Music, Ernie, and Tabb.
Oh, come on. I used to be a duet. I used to be Manny and Music. And the people thought my name was Manion, M-A-N-I-O-N, and my last name was Music. Manion Music.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
We've had, have you sang with duets before? Have you had duets before?
With who?
Anybody?
No.
I don't believe I ever had myself.
I feel like I'm sitting through an Abbott and Costello movie in this place here.
You done duets? Yeah, I did. I done duets a long time with Polly Ann. Sure did. Polly Ann worked with me a long time.
Polly Ann.
Back during the Conundrum days, man.
Boy, I remember that. Jeez.
I got yeah, that's back 2 or 3 years ago.
Don't know where, that's close.
I had to say 2 or 3 years because Polly called me up and get on me, But it's been a while back, but, it sure did. I did duos a long time with her.
You said you were out in Greenland.
Totally Greenland, right. We went there I went there with, believe it or not, she's a country artist now, but her daddy was a biggie. Her daddy was Ernie Wheeler. It was with the Grand Ole Opry for 100 years. Wheeler. And her name is Karen Wheeler. And I worked with a Jerry Lane, Karen Wheeler show, and we went down. I went with them. I was just a drummer and singer, front man. Went there with them on a government show for a base there. We were there 4 days.
Man, that's fantastic.
They flew us there and back, and boy, it was a really weird experience.
I left out one memorable time you were talking about, do you remember something else? I was out in L.A. with Brian Hyland's group. We were doing a TV special out there for NBC called Go. It was back in '70. And Ryan O'Neal and Noel Harrison, the Buffalo Springfield, Donald Douglas, and there's a whole slew of. Anyway, we were out there for 2 weeks, right off Sunset Strip, about 2 blocks from Sunset Strip at Sunset Marquee Motel, to film, videotape a 3-minute song for that special. And my birthday came up. It was in March 2nd, and I spent my birthday at Dale Shannon's and Mrs. Shannon's house out in Beverly Hills, out in his home with Johnny Tillotson.
Whoa.
Best I remember was a good party.
Golly.
Now you told everybody that your birthday in March.
March 2nd.
Everybody know you're a fish.
Pisces.
Yeah, everybody know you're a fish.
Ernie Soul and Jimmy Tabb, our special guests this morning. We'll go answer the phone here, see what they talk about duets. We mentioned these guys a few minutes ago, James and Bobby. Oh, the Purify Brothers, folks. Oh, they ain't making songs like that no more. Jeez, that's James and Bobby Purify, and I'm Your Puppet. Had a lot of hits, a lot of big hits. We play that song and Shake a Tail Feather, I think, is the 2 most popular ones that we play. I want to thank everybody for calling up today. We're going to have to wrap things up in the next couple of minutes, and I don't want to let the minutes go by without thanking the people for calling. Especially a big thanks to you guys for coming out here. This is the middle of the night for you guys. I know it is. And mention again, not that we have to, I think everybody knows you guys are over at Lloyd's, and it's just, I think the event that we need to mention is the 20-year lapse that's gone by since you guys played together. And I'll make an effort to get out there immediately.
Right, our kickoff time is 8:15. We'll kick off tonight at 8:15. I guess let's be back. Go back to sleep. No, we'll kick off at 8:15 tonight, live.
Over at Lloyd's with I don't know the new owners.
That's Laney and Janice Mays.
Laney and Janice Mays.
A tremendous job.
I know them by face, but I don't know them personally.
Right.
And,
we have a good time. Well, we rock and roll.
Oh, I can imagine. And no doubt about, well, you ain't got to tell me about your music. I know. Listen, I've heard you guys play individually before, so I know what to expect. And I just want to take a moment to thank those of you who have stayed with us the last couple of hours and all through the years, and for your phone calls this morning. Every now and then we break away from the playing 40 or 50 records on Saturday and have something extra special like this. I noticed that Joe Ferris was bebopping around the front, and he didn't want to come in here and interrupt us, but I want to pass along the word that Joe came out here today, too, to see these guys, and he just want to wave it through the window there, not interfere. Well, thanks for coming out, Joe, if you're listening in Mark's office. And you guys want to say some last words here before we wrap things up?
Well, just including that we got it live, and when everybody comes in, especially check out our happy hour thing we're going to start. That's going to be something new for me and Jimmy working in the daytime. Singing in the daytime is going to be new for us. But we're going to
in the daytime.
We're going to do like the older shows. That's what we're going to do in our happy hour, like a good time thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's from 5 to 7, and we'll be there. We'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, starting this week.
That's great.
From 5 to 7. I want to check out our happy hour. Of course, we'll still be there at night too. We're going to be there at 5 to 7. Doing a happy hour thing. See how it work out.
Yeah.
Hope people come by and check us out now and then. Get unwound and everything. Just have a good time.
And we'd like to tell you how much we appreciate your show too.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy.
Morning, just like clockwork.
Tape it every chance we get.
I know. Love you guys to death. And
Cynthia, you better be listening.
She probably just remembered the pause button.
Yeah, she just hit the pause button. That was the whole day. She got the wrap up.
We do our best whenever we have a program like this to include everybody out there. Occasionally we let some comments get in here that are way over everybody's head. If we did that this morning, we apologize, but we love you all out there. Feeling very mutual.
Right. Deborah, we didn't leave you out, honey. We just saved you class.
And this is 1985. Right. We want to also say hi to the class of 1965. One of our listeners just called in and said she remembered you guys just from as far back as she could remember. Remembers all the good times that you guys have given, Albany. Well, fantastic. We appreciate it.
I'm telling you, I love it.
All right. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you, Ron.
God love you both. All right. Ernie Soul and Jimmy Tabb are very special guests today. Show that'll be long remembered. I want a copy of the tape. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming out. That's it for another edition of the Rock Revival. Until next Saturday morning, goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. And here comes the snow. Woo! Goodbye. Don't you ever be sad. Lean on me in times of bad.
All right. You know, we got Jimmy, we got a request to do a bumper mark tune. And la 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 la, your mama. You saw me standing alone without a dream in my heart. Forever, my darling, love will be true. Ever and forever, always. So promise me, darling, you'll only tell where I'll find no sorrow. My heart says you're commanding to keep love and to hold, making you happy is my desire. Oh, and you is my goal. I'll forever love you for the rest of my days. No love like I love you. Living on Sponge Cake, watching the sun beat. All of those tourists, they're covered in oil, strumming the sixth string on my football swing. Spirits being there, they're getting to boil. We still waiting for the margarita bill. Tiny bubble in the wine, make me happy, make me feel fine. Tiny bubble, make me warm all over. Yeah, I feel that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. It's for you, Ernie, wherever you are. Here's to the golden moon, here's to the silver sea, but most of all, some French toast for you and me. Tiny bubble, make me warm all over. Here I feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. I my own way. It's now or never, my love away.
Short ball, we'll be right back with more. So y'all stay tuned right here, Floyd, to downtown Cartersville. We do it all night long, 5 nights a week, so hang in the tank. We'll be right back.